Hey guys, if you have watched the trailer of Jurassic World Dominion, then you would have been shocked, well, a little bit shocked, at the size of one big aquatic dinosaur. Oh wait, it's not a dinosaur, it's a marine reptile. It was seen in the middle of the trailer when there was a backdrop narration of dinosaurs being an ecological disaster and cannot coexist with humans. So in this clip we see a huge ass Mosasaurus, probably the same one from Jurassic World, the first movie, and of Fallen Kingdom. So here in this video we will estimate the size of this beast, and let me just say this, that it will have grown to be the size of a kaiju. So subscribe if you haven't already, and now let's get down with it. The clone Mosasaurus retained many features of its original counterpart. It also had a bite force of 13,000 pounds per square inch, 1,000 pounds per square inch higher than the terrestrial predator Tyrannosaurus rex that lived in the same period. The Mosasaur lived in a 3 million gallon pool of water located near Main Street known as Jurassic World Lagoon. Well, the official size of this creature was said to be 56 feet long or around 17.6 meters. Of course, we could disagree, and using logic, either the creators didn't give a precise measurement or wanted to stay true to the scientific data of real-life fossils. Okay, in Fallen Kingdom, the Mosasaurus was discovered to have survived for months in the lagoon and was seen eating the submersible along with the pilots of that craft, as well as a mercenary hanging on a ladder of a helicopter flying over the lagoon. Here we actually see the true size of the Mosasaurus in Fallen Kingdom, being bigger, and at the end of the movie we see it approaching surface and it was even bigger. So size estimates for this creature went from being 55 feet long, as seen in the Innovation Center of the park, to being over 80 feet long and even more than 100 by some estimates, which I can agree on by looking at the scene of it clamping down on the person outside the helicopter. So next we come to the estimation of the size of the Mosasaurus as seen in the Jurassic World Dominion trailer. In one of the clips of the trailer, it was seen tugging a crab catching boat and even turning it sideways with its weight. At first we see it come out of the water and grabbing a crab cage, which is called a crab trap, with its huge mouth. Mind you, most crab traps are 6 to 7 feet long, but this one is a little bit bigger, being around 9 to 10 feet, as we can see by comparing the number of steel bars in the cage. So by looking at this, we can say that the head of the Mosasaurus would be at least 3 crab cages long. The head, which means the snout, and the skull, which means over 30 feet long. Another clue to its size is the adjoining scene where we can clearly see a sailor falling into the sea when the boat was turned sideways owing to the tremendous weight of the sea monster. So by estimating the size of the sailor and the width of the boat, we can come to another estimate on the size of the Mosasaurus' mouth. Let's say the sailor is on average, let's say a height of 6 feet tall. We can see that it takes around 5 of these sailors to be equal to the width of the boat. And at the same time we can see the snout of the Mosasaurus and the person's height being nearly equal to its nose. So by doing some magic on the side, we can see that it takes around 6 of these sailors to be equal to the head of the Mosasaurus. Now let's do some math. If one sailor is 6 feet tall and it takes 5 of them to be equal to the width of the boat, then the boat is 30 feet wide, which would make sense for a large crab catching vessel like the Alaskan king crab fishing boats. Then let's get to the Mosasaur. We can see that it takes 6 of these sailors to be equal to its head size. So its head alone is around 35 to 36 feet long. Therefore, as we can see by the image, a Mosasaurus head is roughly 20% of the length of its entire body, which means the overall size of the Mosasaurus of Dominion would come to be around 180 feet long. As I said before, the Mosasaurus is now the size of a kaiju, twice the size of a blue whale. So how much bigger can it get? Well, we will never know since this movie will be the end of the franchise. But we can compare it with other sea monsters, like movie sea monsters. Now let's see them. So I hope you have enjoyed watching this video. Anyway, with that we come to the end of it, so do hit that like button for support and subscribe as well to be a part of the MindQ family. But most of all, smash that bell icon for regular updates on new videos right here on this channel. Till the next one, take care fam.